suspects to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know.
My name is Jade. This is Guilty of Crime.
What is up, everybody? Good evening, afternoon, and morning, wherever you are. I was watching the intro to my own intro while I was waiting, and you want to know what we know. Man, I might be a minute late, and that's only because, man, this is like a never gonna end case. Hit that like button. I was reading some of the comments yesterday on I'm going to call it part 1, and I'm going to say hello to everybody. Yesterday, I'm going to call it part 1. We did a little bit of digging on Stephan Sterns' parents, and today we're doing more digging on Stephan Sterns' parents. And it's important that we do, because I want you to decide if what I'm telling you is fact or fiction, and what Stephan Sterns' mom is saying is fact or fiction. And it's really interesting because just before I got on this call, I got a phone call. Well, I always get calls, but here it is. And I'll talk about it again because people are going to miss it. Hello, Crime to Remember, Crystal, Witch, Elizabeth Estrada, Yashira, what's going on? All right. So I'll probably get back into it, but I'll pull up the pictures, and I guess I'll pull up a picture of mom first. We're going to do mom, dad. We're going to talk about the email and what you think. And then I'm going to tell you what, and if the theory's right, here's a couple of things. I'm like beside myself a little bit right now before I hop on the show and I get information that day. And hello, mom. When I get information that day, hello, Sherry and everybody else. I am a little beside myself, and I'm always passionate, as you know. But the passion gets a little bit bigger when I hear something like this. That's a possibility. It's an absolute possibility when you get calls from people and things and messages and all right. So there's some things that are complete fact that we know, and then there's things that are just in my opinion. All right. So real quickly, I'm going to pull up Stephan Sterns' mom as I talk about Stephan Sterns' mom, because as you know, this is passion. All right. As you know, Stephan Sterns' mom wrote that email that clearly, and I think a lot of people really miss the fact that at the beginning of the email she wrote, and the dad wrote, that they were going to be looking at all of the messages. So they were going to look at all the messages and make sure to be careful what they say. Yeah, it is. My mind is blown right now, Evil Olive. I'm like, absolutely. You guys can feel me through this, through the screen. I'm trying to get it out. And it's always hard when you hear this kind of stuff. Like, how do you process this? And what do I go with it? Thank you for becoming a new member. Yes, absolutely arrest Jen Soto. Now, this is Stephan Sterns' mom. I'm going to go deeper into Stephan Sterns' mom and dad. Yesterday, I did a show on their divorce, but it was way back when. It just showed the volatile situation of the people. His mom's a monster too, I believe, but I got to tell you guys something here. His mom is advocating for him, and let's say I got a phone call from somebody or information from somebody that there's a death penalty advocacy group in Florida. Okay. Death penalty and death penalty advocacy group, and Stephan Sterns' mom, Deborah, I have her Facebook, or she has many Facebooks, many Instagrams. I mean, Facebook's, LinkedIn, all kinds of stuff. Deborah Sterns called the advocacy. Yes. Called the advocacy group, and I don't even know if she called it or she went down there or what, but she's making noise to them and telling them that Stephan Sterns absolutely did not do this. He shouldn't be on death row right now. This is ludicrous. Jen Soto should be arrested. So she's saying it loud and clear, folks. And you know, when I was going to come on here today, I was going to come on here and just kind of say, well, yeah, she's a snake. Both the parents are. We're gonna get into each one of them. So here's the thing. It doesn't surprise me she's doing that either. However, here's what can be collaborated as it comes out. Number one, as Duty Ron says, and it's a fact. Many other people I checked with, they know who the driver is by now. Duty Ron thinks that it's possibly Stephan Sterns, and they don't want to say it because of the case. But I'm on the other side of the fence with yes, no, I'm not kidding you. I'm on the other side of the fence that the reason they're not saying who the driver is because either Jen Soto was in the car or she was with Stephan Sterns and they haven't arrested her yet, and they're still building the case, which I'm going to play a clip after, because last night I hopped on to Duty Ron and I said, big question. My eyebrows look a little messed up here. A big question, folks. Big question to Duty Ron. Is Jen in the clear? And I'm going to give you the answer after, but they know who the driver is. They're not telling us. There's a reason. Now, listen, here's what Stephan Sterns' mom said. Okay. Stephan Sterns' mom, and I'm going to quote this. What I was told is that Stephan Sterns' mom is making a noise for the death penalty advocacy group to help get Stephan Sterns off death row and to arrest Jen Soto, because Stephan Sterns was at home that day. He didn't come down in from her mouth to them. He didn't come down there just to see Maddie for her birthday. He flew down there. No, he didn't fly. He drove really fast down there, and they're going to have police are going to have solid time frames when this comes at all. Now, somebody says you don't believe Jen was involved at all, and that's fine. It's all going to come out. There's a reason why the driver isn't, and I'm not just making this up, okay? I'm not making this up. All right, so mom's Deborah wants him off death row. She made it loud and clear that he doesn't belong on death row. She knows his part. She knows what he did to Maddie for the years, and she knows that he had a part in abuse of a corpse and dumping Maddie's body. I hate to say it that way, but that's what it is. Now, listen, this is what information I get. This is what I'm going to give you. I just got the information and it blew me away. So it's all messed up and it's all scary and it's all crazy. So here's the deal. Like, I've had that theory. If you come back to my episode from yesterday, I had that theory, and I don't know if it's a 3:30. I just got this information. The information was that Stephan Sterns got a phone call from Jennifersoto and said, get down here. I need your help with something. Okay. Now, hey, favor for favor. She's been giving her daughter to her on again, off again boyfriend for years. I have many cases where mothers do that. Jen Soto is not an anomaly. Okay. She's not an anomaly. There's many moms, I can cite cases over and over and over that do that. So I'm putting this out there, and I don't know yet. I don't know yet. And I'm just relating what I was told. Now, we're going to get into each one of these people, and you're going to see what nasty people they are. And we know what nasty son. Thank you, Martine Ludigen, for the super sticker. I appreciate it so much. Sabrina, thank you for becoming a member. All right. Somebody also yesterday put a comment and said, oh, don't watch this episode. You don't learn anything in the whole episode. I don't know what episode they were watching. All right. Now, the death penalty is a farce. We spend more money on DR inmates. Yeah, I agree. But when you have a case like this, when you have a case that's this big and you have a case that's double, you got 60 SA charges and then a charge, one murder charge. Yeah, everybody, yes, law enforcement has everything. And when I get to that part, I'm going to tell you, I don't have this. I don't have the records. I don't have anything. Law enforcement does. Law enforcement knows who was driving that car. Okay. Law enforcement knows Jen's records. Law enforcement will know if Jen called Stephan Sterns and said, get over here, I need your help with something, and what his time frame was, etc. In my opinion, they're building a solid case. That's not what we're talking about. It's not, the case is not just it's not her, it's not Jen Soto, just the dumb potato. Okay. So in my opinion, and I'm just telling you what I heard. So Deb is making noise, not just through emails, and you could decide. You don't have to believe my source. You don't have to believe my source at all. And that's fine. It could be or it cannot. You'll see as you go. Okay. I know people that are down at the courthouse on a regular basis. I know people that have the paperwork. I know people that have the paperwork before the paperwork comes out. I know people that do work on the case. I know people that I know a lot of people behind the scenes. So law enforcement want to make an airtight case. Absolutely. And you can decide for yourself what you believe. Now, Melly says, we know his mom would be here to continue to enable him as she's done his entire life. Absolutely. And I'm going to show you that. So there's his mom. Let me scroll through the pictures. And this is what I heard. So she's trying to get him off of being on the death penalty and get him an abusive corpse charge. But she's claiming to have proof that she can prove that this is what happened, that Jennifer Soto is very complicit in this, and he was dumping the body for her. Yes, he did the essay. Thank you, microwave cheese. I love cheese, and I love microwave cheese. Believe it or not, we microwave it and eat it like that. All right. So his parents know more, and that all of your comments are absolutely on point. So I came on here today to show you his parents, show you a lot of times people want to see what they look like. And I haven't really seen what they look like until I started digging them up. And we did that yesterday. We did the interview, and I saw it on, I saw like a little tiny thumbnail on Strategic channel. And I said, and then I was trying to stay away from true crime, and I popped on a Duty Ron, and they were doing the show. So Oblivious Benson, and I never forget about you, Bree, Gothic Bree. They both sent me a bunch of information about these folks and a deep dive. So then I also get a phone call. Of course, when I put up an episode, people are going to want this to be out there. So these two people look about the same age-ish now. This is not 1997. Okay. Yesterday, when we talked about the documentation in court, we talked about the court case and the mom and the dad was having PORN. He was watching PORN all the time and cheating on the wife and traveling to Florida. And she was getting, what's her name? Deborah. It's Deborah and Chris Sterns. We have Deborah, Chris, and Stephan Sterns. Okay. So this is not 1997 in these pictures. These are more current. I have all their current pictures. You want to know what we know. And that's why you're here. Because you want to know what we know. That's exactly what you want to know. All right. Yeah. What a great family. So this is not years ago. We saw we got left with a taste in our mouth that we weren't sure yesterday. And I did too. I got left with a taste in my mouth. Like, wait, that doesn't make sense. If they're divorced, then why are they on the same email thread sharing it? And also 333 Maddie is my angel and all of our angel. Okay, she just says hi to us with the angel number. Yeah, and Sam, that's why I'm calling this a part 2. And never said they got married again, but I'm seeing what you're seeing, and they are currently, in my belief and what I've looked up, back together again. Whether they're just living together because it's more comfortable. They have the dogs. I'm going to show you the dogs. She does all the dog breeding and poodles and fancy shows. And the dad says he's worth $200 million, folks. All right. So I left myself with the taste in my mouth that I didn't like yesterday, because when I realized the court documents, I said, wait, nah, I'm not too happy with that. That was 1997. I want to know what they're doing now. okay, they were never divorced. That's the thing, is we never saw the documentation of them being divorced. The only difference is that her name said Deborah Callahan Stearns, and we weren't sure if the court documents had ever gone through. We saw the court documents being filed, and we saw the child support, but we never saw that they were divorced. Well, guess what? This is not them in 1997. This is them on the currently on the more current side. Yeah, 174 likes. Hit that like. We have 342 people in chat. I just told you that Mama Deborah Stearns is trying to get her son off of death row. She's trying to. Now, you can decide if she's using Jen as a pawn. We're going to find that out because the police have all of the things that they need. Okay, so what people didn't realize and what they didn't notice is that, all right, let me show Dad, and you can see that these are more current. And I'm going to show you hold on, I'm going to show you their like Instagram and stuff too. Or I keep saying Instagram. It's not Instagram. There she is again. So she's obviously older there. I'm going to show you their social media profile so you can see like what they're doing now, like right now today, and what they say they're worth and what's going on. So if you buy that Jen Soto's in the mom's, yeah, she's in panic mode. I agree. And I think both parents are crazy. They do anything for Stephan Sterns. But to what degree was Jen Soto involved? Why haven't the police told us who the driver was if it was just Stephan Sterns? Why wouldn't they just say there was another car identified and he drove back in our car? Why wouldn't they say that? And hello, Sydney, you're new here. Thank you for being here. We just want full justice for Maddie. Melly says she's using Jen as a pawn. Clearly, Jen and Stephan were not liked by each other's parental figures. Right. But Melly, do you think that Jen was involved in this? Okay. I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm going to show you who these people are. You can decide what you want to. I'm telling you what I heard. I'm telling you the source that I've gotten so far has been on point. We don't know what the police know. I don't know what the police know. I don't have law enforcement records. I don't have anything other than people that go down to the courthouse, people that work at death penalty advocacy groups and other advocacy groups, and the family of not only the Sotos but the Wallaces. So what do I know, right? What do I know? All right. So you make up your mind. Hopefully somebody doesn't leave a comment that says I didn't teach you anything, because every episode teaches something. If you didn't learn something, then yes, Melly. If you didn't learn something on my live streams, then you weren't paying attention. All right. See if I'm done. There's just basically they're showing the friend is on Facebook. Stephan Sterns, it's still up. And this crazy lady that we heard about all the tales doxing. Now, what I'll do real quick is just read this email because a lot of people didn't catch it, which was weird. I noticed yesterday I was in Duty Ron's chat, and I'm going to bring that up after. I'm going to bring it up. Duty Ron says he doesn't want her to have just some accomplice or accessory or neglect. Duty Ron wants her to go down under the prison. Like he's legit, like not buying into the accessory or the little tiny charges. And I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that after, but people didn't pay attention to the whole email thread when the parents are making noise. They're making noise for a reason. Of course they want to save their baby boy. Is it because they know more? Remember, the dad was there. The dad got a phone call. The dad got a phone call from Stephan Sterns and said, get down here. They're 2 hours away. Yeah, Duty Ron is not wrong. Duty Ron knows his stuff. Now, listen, Stephan Sterns called his dad and said, I need your help. When we saw the body cam, he told the officers, you can't take my phone. You can't take my phone because my dad needs to get a hold of me. And the officer said that, don't worry about it. Your dad can call Jen's phone. So Stephan called his dad. Okay. Stephan called Stephan's dad. Stephan's dad came down. Stefan's dad, there's 3 people. Stefan's dad, Stephan, and I'm going to call Stefan's dad Chris Stearns, Stephan, and Jen Soto. All 3 of them were there, and he called his dad because he needed help. All right. So we're going to hear all this. I'm going to just read this email to remind you all that. And what's up? Cash App, Membro. I don't even know how to say your name. Savage Barbie. What if Maddie came home from a birthday party, sees Jen Soto throw her teenage attitude, and fight until his fight gets out of hand, and Stephan Sterns is called? And that's what was proposed. That's what's being proposed. We don't have the information yet. I questioned it too. I said, hey, it takes 2 hours to get down there. That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. It takes that long to get down there. How would that happen? And don't they have her work records, or was she working from home? Danny, can any of you guys answer that question? Was she working from home? Was she, when she said she was working? So that would make a big difference. If Jen was working from home and she called Stephan Sterns and said, get down here, I need your help, then that would make sense. Now, I'm not saying I trust those parents by any means. The moment they knew the email was being watched, this is what she says. This is what the mom says. Because again, she's going to the death penalty advocacy group and saying Stephan does not need to be on death row. He's not the one that did it. You need to arrest Jen Soto. She's making noise, and she made noise and made waves on the news because we all saw this. So the highlighted part says jail and prison are not meant to be comfortable. This is Deborah Stearns to Stephan Sterns. All part of the mental punishment, I guess. Stay positive. Talk with your attorneys. I keep thinking about how you would never rat out a friend. It really made me mad, and I feel like you valued them over us when you let them get away with stuff. Don't be doing that again. We all know Jen was heavily involved in this, and I'm disgusted that she's free and you are not, when this is not all your fault. So the mom knows his culpability. The dad knows what his son did with the essay, and then he's telling them, and maybe they know more. Maybe this is just them trying to get him off. You need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you. And how can she help you right now? The whole family's willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. When you do that, you're hurting us too. Please get out of your head over this and start talking with your attorneys. This stuff is serious, and you need to approach it as life and death, which it is. I think of the craziness Madeline lived through with Jen's various partners. Not a stable life at all for a child. I do pray for, I guess, maybe Jen and Jenny and you daily. I'm thrilled that you're working out again, etc., etc. All right, I'm done with that. All right, now we're going to go to their social media here in a second. All right, it's 398 people in here. I know I'm trying to talk to you guys and pay attention, but when I get messages like that before I come on to talk about this, I'm like, oh, I gotta share it with y'all. I think he has some kind of disability. Age-wise, he's childish with the toy figures and Tamagotchi. It's weird. Yeah, he uses those also to keep in mind. We'll look at his Facebook real quick. I believe he not only enjoys those things, but he uses them to groom people, not people, children. And I saw somebody say guilty of crime. I really want to touch the topics as a mother, how she never found out by taking her daughter to the doctor or doing laundry or seeing the seminal fluids on the bed that she sent Maddie to when they had a 4-bedroom apartment and gave a teenager a half of a room with a giant thing of slow-low lubrication. Muma, happy birthday week. All love from Australia. Thank you. And you're a member. Guess what? Wednesday, we're doing a members only, folks. And I invite every one of you to celebrate my birthday on the members only. All right. What did Davey say? It flew by too quick. Chomos groom everyone, kids, parents, teachers, etc. And I agree with that. 110%. I agree with that. Oh, wow. Thank you, Adam, for gifting the 5 Guilty of Crime memberships. Sophia is a member for a month. Thank you. And then Muma, All you guys are amazing. Thank you. And I'm here to get out information. I know sometimes there's some people that are like, wow, we got the trolls. But when someone tells me I didn't get out information in 2 hours and my show was all about I don't even know what they said, donations, I call BS. I give you as much information packed in the least amount of time. All right, so let's look at this man child really quickly, and then we're gonna hop onto his moms and his dads because that's the most. I just want you to see who these people are that raised this guy and that are trying to get them out. And you could agree or disagree with me or anybody, but please be respectful because I have my moderators in here and they will time you out if you're disrespectful. Right now, I'm not into disrespect especially because I'm really passionate about this right now. And yeah, I'm not gonna put up with that. So no, nothing inappropriate. But you guys can certainly agree to disagree with me about any of my theories or anything that I've been told. So this guy, sometimes you have to groom people. You have to groom the mom, and maybe he started off grooming her. And in my theory, he started off grooming her. He felt it out, and she let it go. And maybe she didn't. There's a spectrum of all the ways she didn't know at first until he eased her into it, and then she let him do it and kept on going. Because I don't buy the theory, and neither do my friends. Oblivious Benson. Well, she's a little bit more of the potato theory, but Duty Ron absolutely doesn't buy it. Okay, this guy worked at a real estate company. He had one house on the market, so he didn't really work. Cast member at Disney, not enough for anything. Mooching off of Jen Soto. Jen Soto had all cards in her hands. Her dad, Juan, bought the condo, paid for the condo, let her live there. And this guy came in, had nothing to do, didn't have a job, and he played with toys all day. Now, we know his record before, and his record before was, just him, just him. He has a record in the past of some delinquent behavior, as well as friends doing nasty things to friends and filming them, etc. Right? So we know all that already about Stephan Sterns, and I kind of just wanted to show you a few things, and then we'll get on to the parents, and then we'll get on to Duty Ron and Oblivious Benson. And thank you, Melly, for the gifted membership. I appreciate it. Sadie's mama, happy birthday, Jay. Thank you. Hopefully I see you Wednesday. All right, I'm in the middle of nothing. This guy is just, we know. I'm actually surprised he has people on here. There's his mom. So that will lead me to his mom in a second. I wanted to Deborah Callahan, and she has 3 of them, by the way. She has 3 Facebooks. So his photos here, a lot of things were taken down after he was arrested. They left up a few things, but Oblivious Benson does deep dives, and she's the one that found a lot of this information. And then Gothic Bree also sent me a bunch of links and information, but Oblivious Benson did a huge deep dive on this guy, the parents, etc. And Deborah Callahan, this is what she does. All right, I showed you the pictures of her, but she has 3 different Facebooks. So let me take a look, and I'll show you the LinkedIn's and stuff too, and then we'll get to the Duty Ron situation. So there's his mom, and not a lot of people have commented on or even seen the parents or what they exactly do now. And I couldn't deal with that. We just hit 444, another angel number. Prayer for Maddie. Messages from her. Rest in peace, little one. Man, I wish she was here to just continue her life with us. All right. I love seeing everyone in chat. I came in late. You're gonna have to go back and watch this. Okay, so let's look at her. She has 3. We'll start with Deborah Callahan Stearns, and that's why I don't know. I didn't know if their divorce went through or what name she uses, but I do know we saw divorce paperwork. She doesn't have a lot on this one, but she has other Instagrams. I showed you her photos. This is what she does. Okay, these are fancy. And I want you to know that these fancy dogs that she breeds and takes out and doxes their tails. Remember in the paperwork, the tails and the dew claws. That's what you do when you're a breeder and you're making money off of breeding and then putting them in shows. Now they're expensive dogs. I mean, we're talking $5,000-$6,000 dogs when you buy them as puppies for a good, high quality breed. So she's got lots of them. We heard them talk about having 8 dogs that they had to do that to. They were adding it up 8 times 4. That's how many that we would have to do. And it was at, I don't even know right now what 8 times 4 would be. It was at 36. Anyway, so yeah, money talks. BS walks. The dad supposedly, we're going to get into that. He says he's worth $200 million. So let's look at some more. We know that she's, they say stunning. I call her cunning. So you guys can decide what you guys think about the parents and what we know. This must be their house. Okay. This is a beautiful dog. In my opinion, my wife does dog grooming, and this is a show dog. Show dogs win prizes and they win money. And when you're breeding them and you have 8 dogs that cost $5,000 a piece, that's a small fortune, folks. So both parents are making decent money. All right. So we're going to go to the next Facebook. I am going to get off this one and go to the next one because she has so many like profiles. It's crazy. We'll do Deb's first. We'll go back. Oh, wow. She has that many of them. Huh? Okay. Let me share this one. Here's one. Here's the one you guys want to see. Now you guys can actually see her face and everything. This is the current one. And let's check out our relationship status. I'm doing this with you. I did not have the time to do this today. I did not have time to sit there today. I just got the information late last night and most of it this morning. The rest of it when I woke up. Yeah, like the show dogs. Okay. All right. So here, there's her. Those dogs don't look so much like show dogs, but they look like they're getting older. And we still love puppies, right? We love puppies. So Puggle is cuter. Yeah, right. Poodles. I like poodles because they're smart. I have a multi-poo. Right now we're talking about Deb Sterns. I'm not going to add her as a friend. There she is. We can scroll through some of the pictures. That was a picture I pulled earlier. Another show dog. That looks like her dog just aging. Okay, so you see pictures of the house again, more dogs. There you go, folks. So this was not 1997, May 17th, 2015. I don't know if you can see that. It looks to me like they never, yeah, you're going to see Karen Soto and he says $200 million and he won't hire him a lawyer. Right. All right. This was 2015. They're sharing emails to their son and trying to get him out. All right. Standard poodle, like the second smartest broad. Yeah. Only next to me. Exactly. Poodles are amazingly smart. That's why I got a multi-poo. I was either going to get a multi-poo or a golden doodle, which is still a poodle mix. Poodles are intelligent, very intelligent. So I ended up with a multi-poo. Anyway, all right, let's go through Deb. I try to give you as much information about all the cases as possible. And this is just a dive into the parents because you want to know who the parents are of the monster that they bred together. All right. Thank you for lifting. So the last post on this was January 2020, and they're just talking about, I don't even know, posting, thank you for lifting prayers. She spotted, looks like she posted something about a little girl update. She was spotted last night. She's still alive and following water. It's a dog. However, the owners have hired an expert pet locator. So it looks like she's posting about a dog missing. Everything's pretty much dogs. She has a whole dog site. She has a poodle podcast, folks. A whole poodle podcast, which I'm not going to get into because I promised I would let somebody else do that exclusively. So I'm going to show it to you, but I'm not going to get into it. All right, let's take a look at her relationship status. If there's one, it looks like there's no workplace to show. Went to Winter Park High School, no relationship. Work in education, no college. Went to Winter Park, places lived. Don't worry, she has 3 of these. All right, family relationships, details about Deb, nothing. All right, so she's just showing off her dogs by herself. You get a couple pictures and a glimpse into her. Let me check in with y'all. Yeah, poor dogs. See how successful they were with Slimy Sterns. And they let him do whatever he wanted, essentially. Yeah, she is so lame. I know you guys. I just wanted you to like deep dive into it because that taste that it left in my mouth of not knowing what it's like when I listen to a podcast, I always have to Google the people because I'm like, I need to know what they look like and who they are. I'm only the only person who thinks the parents look the same. They do. And people seem to start to look the same after a while. It's interesting when someone's together. All right, let's get through this because I know you guys want to know what I know, and I'm trying to get to that. But I also just want to show you without spending too much time. All right, so this was the one I already showed you. She posted a new litter of puppies. I didn't read that, but yeah, I mean, she goes into this crazy amount of, I'll get into the third one. She goes into this crazy amount of the breed they are and ACK or I don't know if I got it backwards. Yeah. Hold on. She AKC and PCA standards and poodles of all varieties, and the situation makes a COI important, and she's USA breeding for 60 plus years, and this dog's a winner. And she says there's no inbreeding going on, which I don't believe. In my opinion, they probably inbred the crap out of those dogs at some point. I mean, she goes on and on and on this about the high prices, exaggerated expectations through inventive marketing, and she's going on about poodles. She says, I could talk poodles, especially standard poodles, in their unique ways. So this lady's kind of a nut job. So you guys believe what you want about her, and I'll believe the things I take in. I'm interested to learn about Stephan Sterns' older brother would say their relationship. Yeah, I am too. And unfortunately, I don't have. I'm going to do one more of these just so you could see the last one, and then I'll go to the dad, and then we're going to get on to the Duty Ron, Oblivious Benson kick. All right, so this one's another one she's got. That's the third one. The other one I didn't even bring up. Pretty picture view, looks great. Thinking about Christina, and yes, great. So I mean, she's just a crazy lady. I'm sure there's plenty of stories about her. She's got lots of poodles. I don't think anything about anything shows any relationship, no education, no contact, nothing really to write home about. So, but I figured, hey, I'll do this with you all. This one's blank on the top and it doesn't get into all that crazy stuff. She just keeps opening pages and it looks like they're like just selling dogs. Oh, she's got Stephan Sterns here on there. All right, they're all connected. So thank you all so much for being here. Yeah, he's also charged. There was a charge in that, but I'm not sure exactly how that went down. I'm not exactly sure what that meant. Thank you all again for being here so much. I know I came in hot today. I came in just fired up. That's what happens when you get me fired up before a show. I promise I haven't even finished my Red Bull yet, and I'm like on fire right now. But that's what happens when you get me fired up before we come in. Man, she has a lot. She has a lot, y'all. Her LinkedIn doesn't even have anything. 8 connections. She has no kind of activity. So I'm not even, all it talks about are standard poodles. I'm not going to show you that. But I do want to show you something funny. She has a freaking poodle people. And it's in episode 8. I just want to show you. So if you actually care to go on there, and here's a little thing. Yeah, thank you, blah, 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 Kim. You go, girl. Hit it hot. And I can't help it. I just get so passionate about something and then I'm on fire and it's not my fault. It's got to be the Leo thing, folks. It's got to be. Oh, that's what it is. It's the freaking full moon. I didn't even sleep that good last night either, and I'm on fire. I was like in a half sleep last night. All right. Anyway, so check this out. I'm not going to play it. I promise I wouldn't. There's a podcast called Poodle People, episode 8, Deborah Sterns of Callasterns. So she has you can look up Callasterns Standard Poodles is what she that's her poodle company. So they're doing poodles, they're making a ton of money, and this episode is about Deborah Sterns, and that's their company, Callasterns Standard Poodles, owner of Diesel. That Diesel must be the dog that breeds, or that's the stud, and then sire of Emma's recent litter. All right. You want to go check out Poodle, people, go check it out. We're done with that. We're done with Deborah, whatever her name is. We're going to go on to Chris Sterns. I'm going to show you his $200 million. He says he's worth $200 million. He is just as much as a DB as his son, in my opinion. He's been cheating on his wife for years. They went through a semi-divorce. I guess it didn't happen. It's just really interesting to see who and what is enabling this Satan Sterns. You want to see where the emails came from. You want to see where they came from. I know I do. All right, Poodle people. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you guys, hey, do what you want. I wouldn't harass any companies, but if you guys want to just ask her, give her a call and ask her, hey, do you guys do you breed just make up some random animal? I used to do that to my wife. I'd be like, hey, do you guys do you breed not do you breed, do you groom kangaroos? Because I need my kangaroo groomed. And I'd literally call the grooming shop and ask her just random shit like that. Oh man. All right. I think the full moon gets a bad rap because it's the brightest time, so people nefarious purposes do their dark deeds. Yeah, I always just think of it as having more energy. I'm like, and also somebody told me not to use my hands while you guys are playing videos, or like while I'm playing a video, stop moving my hands. And I said, I think you're on the wrong channel, everybody. What do you think? Yeah, Satan's son Poodles. Yeah, I don't know if you're laughing at that, but like when videos are on and I'm like, hey, hit that like button, or I'm like, oh, what's going on here? I'm reacting to it because that's how I feel. So somebody told me, don't move your hands while you're playing a video. And I just said, you're not on the right channel. Dude, yes, is your fridge ready? I literally would call VCA and say, I need to get my kangaroo groomed, and I'd change my voice and or anything. I just make up like a random animal and ask if I can get that groomed. All right. Chris Sterns, this one doesn't really say much, or maybe he does. The other one talks about his $200 million. So he has a ChristopherSterns.com. Let's look at if he has any other pictures. We can see what he looks like. He's nothing to write home about. Oh, wow. Look, him at the Magic Kingdom, which totally looks photoshopped. And this is in 2009. Can you guys see that? Oh, my God. Do you breed dogs? And I won't even say the other part. Chomos will say. What's up, Cheech? And Mom, if you're still here, hello. I love you. I can't talk without throwing my hands either, and I can't react to videos and just sit here like this, like I'm a cardboard cutout. Sorry, people, you're on the wrong channel. People tell you not to be yourself. F them, right? I literally just said you're on the wrong channel. 8, like you talk with your hand. All right, so there's the dad. His Facebook doesn't have a whole bunch on it, but his LinkedIn is interesting. So he doesn't have anything. He has Deborah Callahan, which is his wife, and Stephan Sterns, and then he has some other people on there, not a whole bunch. He has 9 friends. Nothing. Well, he does have that. He's a broker owner of Home Clicks Realty. So now we know. And Duty Ron said that if it's an open source that you're looking at, you can, we can look at it. So as long as you don't go and do something bad to them, you can go to the owner of Home Clicks Realty and buy a house from him if you want. Now you know. All right. So it says it's in Orlando, Florida, which I guess they are in in Orlando, Florida. And then family and relationships. He doesn't have anything about anything. So I would like to see that website. I'll pull that up, but I'm going to go to LinkedIn and then there's just so much today. And then, okay, so domain not claimed. I went to it and there's nothing. All right, y'all. 517 people in here. Hit the like button. We're going to go to his LinkedIn and then we got more information. I love every single one of you. You guys are awesome. Yeah, they do. They do. I agree. The last time we went to Disneyland also, we didn't have a great experience. And I'm like, what are they doing? I got you guys on a kick. I literally would say that too. Like, can you groom my elephant? Hello, can I speak? I swear I did that. I swear I would just prank call my wife and call her direct line and tell her that, my I can't even think of animals right now because I'm gonna start laughing. I'm not even kidding you. It's so funny. All right. Duty Rod didn't say we could. Jay, you can't do anything bad. Duty Rod didn't say we couldn't. Exactly. Good evening, Jay. Chats and mods. And I love you too, Melly. I'm having a good time over here with y'all, even though I'm by myself. Carly says my bushes need trimmed. Yeah, I need my mongoose groomed. Do you do mongoose tails? I just need their anal glands expressed. Can you do that on a Oh man, it's crazy. All right, let's finish looking at this so we get to the next thing. I just needed a break from that. Grew my rhino draft. Oh yeah, hippopotamus, all of the above. You guys are funny. At least you guys get the joke. Jay, not jail. Yeah, spell checks. My giraffe needs a new do. Now you could see why it was so funny. Fluff a mongoose, right? Now you know what I got kicks out of back then. All right. Now my wife owns her own business, so it's not fun to prank call her anymore. All right, let's look at this. And Stephan Sterns, he's a strategic marketing business development consultant for eXp Realty. They're in Venice, Florida, so we know they're about 2 hours away from Jen Soto. And these are the things I want to highlight. So both of Stephan Sterns, Satan Sterns' parents they seem to have money. I don't know when you look at it. Created and developed concept lower cost of home ownership through building high performance, energy efficient, net zero homes. That's a big deal to produce more energy than consume throughout 6 Florida cities. That's a big deal, folks. Bright Homes of Florida. That's not small. He created, recruited, trained, and managed sales organizations for green energy, new sales of solar powered net energy. I don't know how big of a deal that is. Yeah, Satan Sterns is what I call Stephan. All right. Don't drop out of here. Hit the like button. I see people are coming. Yeah, can you groom my camel? Excuse me, I need my camel's toenails trimmed. Can you do that? And do they have dew claws, by the way? Dude, a cat with extension. You guys Oh, man. All right, let's keep going. So listen. This guy says he has 25 years of seasoned professional real estate broker and sales marketing consultant. But these parents didn't pay attention to their son, and the attention they paid to him was in the wrong way. They bought him out of situations. He was doing perverted things when he was younger with his friends. His dad says 200 million plus career residential real estate sales. So he didn't say he's worth 200 million. He's saying he sold over 200 million. You guys are killing me right now. I have done that. Hey, I have a pterodactyl that needs its eyebrows waxed. I'll do that. Stop. I did do that. If I could ever get my wife on here, she would so tell you about that. So funny. My camel needs a pedicure. Can we do camel toes? All right, stop it. I'm gonna pull this off. You guys are killing me. You guys are crazy. All right, let's get through this. So both the parents have money. They did the wrong things. I don't believe either one of them at this point. But if we can get Jen Soto locked up for as much as possible, for as long as possible, and what Duty Ron, who was a retired NYPD, no bullshit, just real talk. We're still getting to that now. Guy, real, he knows what he's talking about. Then we're going to lock her up for more than the little petty crap we've been talking about. Okay, so this guy's service provider to banks, consultant to a TV network and real estate, video on demand, mobile app developer. I mean, he's making money. $30 million in luxury equestrian properties, first $2.5 million of entering real estate and sales, Atlanta, Georgia, $15 million in sales back in 2024. All right, so he's been at this place well, it says a month, but he went from Exp Realty, so you guys know where he lived or where he works, senior strategic marketing business development. You make good money when you do that. Trust me. He's only been there a month, folks. Look at that. July 2024. He keeps us up to date. They probably fired him for having Stephan Sterns as a son, I would imagine. And I heard that his brother, if you want to know anything about his brother, Stephan Sterns' brother is spelling his name wrong on purpose and doesn't want to be associated with Sterns. He's spelling it Starns. So he's trying not to be associated. That's the only thing I know. I haven't done any kind of dives into it. Thank you. Your membership gifting is not working. I don't know why either, and I wish it was. Jojo, thank you for gifting the membership. Everybody else, whatever you can do is awesome. All of their money will not get their son out of trouble this time. And you're right, Mom. It will not get them out of trouble. And if they would have let him get in trouble a long time ago, he might not have taken Maddie's life and gone that far. So shame on both of those parents. Shame on them. Shame on them. Worst parents. They get the award with Jen Soto, all three of them. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto. And if you believe even in iota of what I told you, thank you so much, Elizabeth. And I am not a cat either for gifting 5 guilty of crime memberships, all Groton, all dad, OB daddy, hashtag, all that. Yeah. If these parents would have done anything in the right way, Maddie would have probably been alive today. Pearl Lopez, my mother. Yes, exactly. And the money won't buy any of God's forgiveness and love. Absolutely right, Melly. They should be telling their son to repent, to read the Bible instead of origami. Duty Ron's right. Absolutely. My mom sends me Bible scriptures every morning. So keep me on track with God. There's no religion attached because I don't go by a religion, but she wants me to stay in the light. My mom wants me to be in the light and she wants me to be with her when we pass. However that works, we want to be a family forever. And I hate to even think about that because it makes me sad. But I love you, Mom, and thank you for keeping me in the light always. Thank you for being a good parent, Mom. And thank you for still to this day, every single day, my mom sends me scriptures. Reading a Bible is not going to necessarily help, Davey, but telling your kids, you as a parent, to do that. Reading Bible is evil folk are only going to find excuses. You're right, but it's enabling them with origami books and all these other things is enabling him. Instead, they should say to him, read the Bible, look into God, try to anything. Yes, evil people are evil, but they're probably just as evil as him. And yes, Melly, Pearl is a good mom. My mom does the same. I do not go one day without at least, yes, every single day and every single night. Good morning, Bible scripture, and then a text message, and then good night. Yes, we do several times a day. And if I don't hear from her by like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, I'm like, Mom, are you okay? What did you do or whatever? And then the next morning I wake up to a text. So there are good parents out there, believe it or not. All right. These guys are POSs. Christopher, Deborah, and Stephan Sterns are quite a family. We know he makes money. They both make money. They didn't get him a lawyer. I don't even want you to see you guys to take this off because I had to log into my mine, and I really don't want my LinkedIn being flooded, my personal one being flooded. So we got into the Poodle people, we got into the LinkedIn, I have so much. I'm like mind blown, folks. All right, let's pull this one up. This is what I'm gonna pull up, and this is gonna help solidify some of the things I'm saying, as well as no, this was not in the show. None of this was in the show that I'm talking about before I got on here. So if somebody, one of my mods, can drop the duty wrong, he's got probably, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He needs no introduction. Back to the potatoes. Absolutely right. We've got 4 rotten potatoes. And thank you all, by the way. I know I normally interact with you all a lot more, but thank you, Honey Bun, for the gifted membership. Kudos to all of you for all the help and all the support and to keep my channel going. Davey says, me either. I don't believe God is like God in the Bible. I think he's like a parent. Right. Yeah, the Bible is it's just a Bible. It's just a book. It was meant, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's just. I don't want to... I'm not trying to diminish it. There are many versions of the Bible, but I believe in God and a higher being, and there's a light and there's a dark, and I choose to be in the light and to help people. So, all right. So I have been chatting with you. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I was neglecting you for a little bit, but I just came in and flames were going. All right. Let's go. Let's listen to this. This was a good episode. So if you didn't see it yesterday, you can go back and watch it. I love Oblivious Benson. She says, hashtag old Sparky for Stephan. She doesn't even say his name right because she doesn't like him. That's how much.
For the super chat. I love it.
They give a hard time to the dirtbags. I like it.
Good. Screw them. They need to be called out. So good for him or her, whoever's behind that channel. Guilty of a Crime is here. Hey, how are you, Jay? Big question, Duty Ron. Do you think Jen Soto is in the clear? No, I don't. And I said this, maybe you just are getting here, or I don't know when you came in, but thank you for being here. Jen Soto is not in the clear. And if it takes 3 months, 6 months, a year, I don't give a shit how long it takes. As long as they go through everything and make sure that she had no hands in this thing or no criminal responsibility. I don't care how long it takes, but I would tell you this.
Statute?
There is no statute.
There's no statute for Jen if he was negligent or anything?
No.
Okay.
And in this case, they'll take as long as need be, and they will do whatever they have to do.
That's good.
All right, let's go to the chat again, because I promised the chat. Joey Brooklyn.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is we're gonna get a great information. Thank you, all you. Thank you for smashing that like. Thank you, Nora, for the super sticker. Now we're gonna get a whole bunch of, Guilty of Crime is growing with love, and I cover the Madeline Soto case, and I get a lot of exclusive information, and so other content creators that I share with are able to get that information from my channel, even though I'm a small fry. I don't want to be associated with potatoes, but I'm the small kid on campus. I share my information as much as I can. So yeah, what's up, Miss Odin? Love. Yeah, grow. All right, let's listen to this. I have lots of information here. They're slamming. We're talking about Stephan Sterns' parents' emails, and do they really know more, or are they deflecting? And I started off with the part where I asked, do you think Jen's in the clear? Now, Duty Ron does not want them to get her for neglect or just a small, obstruction of justice or something like that. Thank you all. So that's where we are. And now we're going to get into the meat, if this wasn't already.
Who's a great friend of mine. He is the
Brooklyn.
He's the chief of security here. He is like the police chief.
He went through the reeds with you.
Joey I've had him here at my house. We broke bread together. My wife, his wife, we got together. We went to see a comedy show. We hang out. He's my brother. So Joey Brooklyn's got his YouTube channel. He goes around and you can see him crabbing out on Long Island. Yeah, he's a badass. Joey
He's a
Brooklyn
badass.
is my brother.
Thank
So
you, Emmett.
everyone go and subscribe to him as well. Belle is in the chat, and Heather whatever. I just want to highlight a couple of these, and then we'll get to some questions. But let's put back on the LinkedIn from the dad, right? Is that
Yeah,
what
the
we're doing?
LinkedIn. Let's put that back up.
LinkedIn.
It's LinkedIn, but we call it.
So I love Oblivious Benson. She has so much information that she gets sidetracked from what they're talking about, but she gives us all kinds of other information that we weren't talking about. And so what I did first was go ahead and show you that information so you can see it and I can stay focused on what it is. So, but she has a different perspective and she gets sidetracked with good information. So let's go.
LinkedIn. Because of a stand-up comic. I really like who says it like that.
Okay. A lot of your children are here.
All my children, my sweet little babies.
Look, Auntie Ree. Oh, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hi, kids. I'm their dad. I'm not a parent, but I want to be. So I'm their dad.
Am I like a great uncle? I don't know.
You're well, you could be Uncle Ron. You could be stepdad Ron. You can really assign yourself anything in the family. We have Auntie Deb from the Karen Reed case. So if you want to be Aunt Ron, but I don't think you want to. I think you're an Uncle Ron.
All right, fair enough.
Or Papa Ron. Papa Ron. That's what I've been calling you.
That was me.
I call you Papa Popo when you're not around. It's my fave.
Boy. Okay.
Papa Popo.
I like it. Okay. Papa Ron.
And Joey Brooklyn is stepbrother Joey.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Auntie Ree saying hi. Everyone's getting friendly here. All right, let's get back on track. So we're in the dad's LinkedIn. He said he's worth what? 200 million in real estate.
He says he's worth 200 million plus in residential real estate sales. He says that he's got 30 million.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no. I got to show you Rhoda later, by the way, Ron.
Okay.
If you want some new sound drops, I got them for you.
Okay, good.
Courtesy of Hudson, who watches your channel now.
All right. I love it.
Okay, so right here, look at this. So he was previously licensed in California from 02 to 04 with 15 million sales. That's interesting to me how in 2 years in California, it's 15 million. And then 20 years in Florida.
You could have sold one property for 15 million in California,
that's
right?
crazy. Yeah, that's just.
So you guys thought you were going to come into this intense show that's just like crazy and just all harsh like that DNA analysis. You thought wrong. We came in hard and now we're getting to you're going to learn a lot of stuff today, but we're going to have fun, and we're having fun because we do with Oblivious Benson, and Papa Ron is starting to be in the house with all of us and get into the crew. So if you don't know about that, now you know, and you'll find out. Ed was in traffic. Ed was stuck in traffic, and so he didn't make it to the show. Barb says, I've seen a few crumble quickly, but they're respectable content creators. Dan, right. Yeah, no, I stay at the same place forever. 19 years married this year. My job, I've been there for 17 years. This house I've owned for 18 years. I don't go anywhere. Tattooing for 25 years. So I don't plan to go anywhere, folks. Let's go.
It's like one. That's nuts. He also did a digital Florida luxury home guide, magazine and marketing. And also I noticed the brother will misspell his last name on purpose now with an A, which is interesting. And he works in computers, namely making websites. So if we scroll down, this Christopher, who's the dad.
There he is.
See how it says Bright Homes?
Yes.
This was one of the homes one of the companies that Stephan had listed on something a while back. And then he changed it to a Smart Build home realtor, which his dad also brags about having a hand in. But you can see
you know what part of California the father was doing real estate in? Jennifer is saying she wants to know because she's in Cali. So
yeah, it was somewhere weird. It was like, it's not like Cambria mountainous area. Like it's not like in the mountains, but I believe it was between San Francisco and LA, but not above Malibu, but not Cambria.
We'll look into it, Jen, and we'll let you know if it's close to Bakersfield. Hopefully not.
Oh no, it's not close to Bakersfield. I think you're pretty safe.
Okay.
I don't think you ever bought a home from him is what I'm saying.
Well, I want to say, Stacy, that I'm sure that it's going to be a he said, she said. Stacy Jordan says, I'm sure Stephan Sterns will say Jennifer Soto took Maddie's life, justice for Maddie. We want complete and utter justice for Maddie. I agree, but it is going to come down to a he said, she said, and it is going to come down to what the police can prove. So it doesn't matter what theories we have, but I do want to tell you that when the police aren't just telling us that the man that's locked up or the monster that's locked up for the heinous crimes, the 60 SA and the murder charge, when they're not telling us that he's driving that car, there's a reason. And a crime to remember, you come visit me in Cali. All right. And good luck with the move. All right, let's keep going.
Thing. Because I think he only sold one, maybe two. That's really like seriously in Cali. That's
what did you dig up on mom? Anything?
Oh God, Deb.
All right,
now she doesn't really get into it much here. We're gonna listen to what she does, but a lot of people ask me what Oblivious Benson's channel is. Is it true crime or what? She's into the digital evidence, is what I would say. She knows a lot about OSINT, and that's the cyber security. There's a name for it. It's OSINT. It means something, but her channel has morphed into just a plethora of knowledge on any topic. So I called Oblivious Benson last night to ask her to send me this information and all the links, and we ended up talking about wrestling and all the different federations of wrestling. So that's Oblivious Benson, but digital evidence sums it up. Nicolette, thank you for becoming a member. You won't regret it. Wednesday, we're having a members only birthday party / roast of you want to be a lawyer, you could be Sarah Boone's lawyer. We're gonna go over that case and we're gonna talk whatever we want to talk about.
So that seems like father, like son. Stephan, to make his money, perhaps was into that rental game, and hence Jennifer subletting all of her. This is, I guess, a way for them to make money out of maximizing the space that they have. And we have this all the time where people sublet illegally apartments here in New York. Like when I was in the warrant squad, I want to put us back on. I know you're drinking a beverage there. It's okay. You can drink, you can smoke, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't give a shit.
Here we go then.
Here, the bottom line is when I was on the job in the Fugitive Enforcement Division, and we would go into some places in Queens and like outside of Astoria and some of those locations in Queens, I would go in to look for a subject in an apartment, and we would go in there, and all of a sudden we'd walk down the hall and it'd be like room, and they would put walls up, some of them temporary, some of them permanent, and they would subdivide like a 3-bedroom and make it into like a
wasn't that tenement housing, or is that different?
No, it was just illegal subletting that they did.
So
and
crazy.
So they would lease the location for X amount of dollars, and then they would break it up and have 8 families living in there with kids in one room, and they'd share a bathroom, amongst people.
All right, so this gives you a good idea when many people ask about the numbered rooms, right? Thank you, Savage Barber. You're just on point with that. The numbered rooms is what we're talking about, and it could be for that. We don't know. They have 177 witnesses on the list for trial. We're not even close to trial, by the way. So who knows what's going to happen with that? But good evening, NYC baby boomer. So this is giving you a good idea into it and an idea of what delving into digital evidence looks like and what it's looking like. For just a little bit of information that we went over has taken 1 hour and 8 minutes so far. So you imagine what the police are going through with Jennifer Soto's. They got 4 phones. I showed you the other day. They had 4 phones. They don't just have to go through the phone. They have to go through the records. They have to get subpoenas for the records. They have to go through the computers that they took and the whatever they took. So, all right, let's keep going.
Well, that's what they did at Jennifer's house. I read from the paperwork that Madeline had a room off of the kitchen that was divided by when she wanted her private space. It was divided by temporary dividers off the kitchen. Like when I heard and read that, I was like, this poor kid. She didn't even have her own private bedroom. The only privacy that she got is when the mom would tell Stephan to take her to another room and sleep
And
somewhere.
there was 4, right? Wasn't there? There were 4 upstairs, and then there was the one that they say downstairs. But I don't acknowledge it either because what I heard was that I'm not even gonna say what I heard. What multiple sources have told me, and by sources, I'm talking about my friends who do YouTube creation and people who do the nosy.
She's talking about me. She originally came out because she found the video that I did with the roommate, and we know now there's 3 rooms upstairs, 1 room downstairs, which was Juan's, Grandpa Juan, and then they made another bedroom with like a makeshift wall, and that was the room that had the slow low lotion and all that stuff. So that technically was 4 and then a half a room. So 3 upstairs, 1 downstairs, and then a half a room where sometimes she would send Maddie to or room number 4. So I don't know why Maddie didn't have the whole room. Yeah, we saw if you go back in one of the videos, I actually walked you through the condo and you could see Stephan Sterns' hat hanging on the wall. And it's confirmed by the roommate that I've been speaking with that was their place and their stuff. Thank you, Gothic Bree, for gifting the 5 memberships. Good to see you. Chat's flying, so it's hard to see everybody. All right, let's keep going.
Stuff I do. My hacker buddy who was drunk on my channel, and I'm sorry, everyone, but they've all found the same stuff. And you can look back at old public posts and you can hear the interviews. She did not have privacy, and to have that many rooms in a condo that you're not even paying on, that your dad bought you, to not give your daughter, who's a new teen, space to like do what she needs to do as a teen, just privacy in general. It feels very odd how much they kind of all 3 of them hang out together. And you hear a lot about, I mean, the first roommate said, like, you know, she was a good mom. She really did love her daughter. But at the same time, when Stephan was there, it was a totally different vibe. Like it seems like he ruined the vibe. He literally was such a bummer. He brought people down and he inserted himself a lot. And I don't know if, like, a lot of people have their theories about Jen was jealous. I don't know about that. I think that she was just very, very negligent. And she also did not consider Maddie's needs as she got older.
She didn't appear to love her daughter, that's for sure, because
not in the end.
Just that statement of when she turns 18, I want to throw her out of the house.
You guys hear there's 3 of us here. We got Oblivious, Benson, Duty Ron, and myself, and all 3 of us have 3 separate opinions. OB thinks that Jen was just that this is where the potato came from, just a potato that did nothing. Ron wants to see her under the jail forever. And me, I think that she was more involved with the, not only knowing that Stephan Sterns or Satan Sterns was essaying her, but also involved in the actual taking of her life. So we've got 3 different perspectives, and we're all good to communicate with each other about that in a respectful way. So pay attention to that.
House and, like, you know, look, who makes those kind of statements? You know, you get into arguments with your kids and you have your ups and downs, but like just everything about her on paper that we know, and now through people who know the situation there and the way that the living space was set up, it's just not, it's not a good look for her. And for her to sanction and say, hey, you know, and she told the authorities this, if I had, you know, anxiety, I would just, I would tell her, tell Stephan it was okay. So
that was where I was like, I'm out, dog. That was the second I was Randy. I was like, I'm out. I no longer am giving her any benefit of the doubt. I cannot think, I've told you this before, Ron, I cannot think of a single instance in life when it would be okay to send your teenage daughter off
to
another room with an adult man that you are dating with a stepdad. I don't give a fuck. Like, you don't send your teen daughter off with someone who is not her biological father, in my opinion. And even then, as a teen, it's a little weird depending on their relationship. It's just super strange to me to do that in general with someone who was a loving stepfather. This is a dude who was in and out of her life, just a boyfriend who wasn't a very good one, who mooched, who laid around all day and played with his little toys. Like,
she described the relationship as a 7-year on again, off again relationship. I have doubts that they were even sexually active together, her and
see, Duty Ron is completely on the side of Jen Soto using him, and you're going to hear that in a second. Just using him to have somebody there, and also just having a man around because she needed to have that to look. Oh, I got this man. He's good looking. He's not good looking, by the way. And I think I don't know what microphone I use. I use Nearstream and Finite, L-E-Fly-Z. I use Fianite or something like that. I think it's called. Anyway, all right, let's go.
Her and Stephan.
Yeah.
And she just kept him around to say, look, I've got a man here, and just to have him there. And you know what? What did he provide? He didn't provide any funding. He didn't provide any. This guy was a fucking loser.
And that's another thing, that's a good point. Because I always call him a mooch and talk about how he mooched off her and the parents paid for everything. But even in the emails, because I jumped in and heard you talking about that earlier, when he's demanding the origami and he's like, you don't even have to give me the paper. I just need the origami because you can't say the book had paper in it. It clicked earlier. Like,
wow,
he spent 7 years, God knows how much longer. We know he played with, it's OSINT. You can find it on his.
And we do know that all he did all day long from the roommate from the beginning. This was at the very beginning of Stephan Sterns' birthday party, or say, I'm reading your granddaughters. From the very beginning, Stephan Sterns came in and did not work. He played video games all day and painted those little warhammers and then fixated on the Tamagotchis with Maddie all day long. So Jen Soto didn't have to be present. She just kind of laid there and did whatever she did, hid out in the room. And bye to everybody that has to leave, come back and rewatch. Scary Sherry, once again, happy birthday month, Jay. And happy birthday to your granddaughter that turned 1 today. That's a very special year. So sweet. I wish I could see a picture of her. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, Stephan Sterns. We're learning about his parents today. We're learning about Stephan Sterns. We're just deep diving and we're thinking. And this is a question for you. Does Stephan Sterns' parents' emails, do they know more or are they just deflecting? That's up to you to decide in a respectful manner.
He played with the toys. He traded the toys, the figures, whatever you want to call them, the Warhammer shit. He was into that for a long time, but that was all shit that he either had to purchase without money or he would make, but he would add on to shit that you still had to buy. So someone's buying him this stuff. It's likely going to be Jen or his parents. Right. It's so interesting and ironic to me how full circle that comes around because now he's in jail begging so that he can make origami, which I'm guessing he's going to make into these little figures. And the one thing that sticks with me from behavioral analysis classes is this is a guy who likes to be in control. He created his own little world with all his dolls. No, I don't think they're symbolic of his victims. I think that's a bit much, but I do think he has a craving to control something a little. He has these little players. He's using them, I think, to gain favor with Maddie because her favorite character was the Figgy character. That was the section in Disney World.
And this is interesting because I didn't put this together until OB said this. It's not that I didn't realize it. It's just sometimes you have to hear something and you don't put it together. So that little Figgy character was the person that, and if you know who Figgy is, if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't. It's a little character he used for everything. Maddie loved it. And Stephan just played off of that. Anything that she wanted from the time she was little is what he was chasing and doing. So he gave her a lot of attention, played with her all the time, didn't do anything other than that. Little Figment. She calls it Little Figgy, but I don't know if you want to look that up. Little Figment. He's a man-child who collects toys, doesn't work, and lives in mommy's basement. He's a potato. He's an evil potato at that. And yeah, Oblivious Benson says it best.
He worked on, he ran that Figment ride. That was the main profile picture he chose. It was in all of his Reddit posts and in the Instagram account that you'll notice has his email under it, not hers. Figgy is the main picture and she loved it according to them. Yeah. When he's asking for origami, I'm like, please don't give it to him. Even if it's just paper, he shouldn't be in control of shit. And it makes me so angry to think that this guy is using these women, his parents, everybody to buy him these things. And then he goes to jail. And what's one thing a predator should never have access to? The internet. And they give him a fucking tablet? Yeah. And now he's going to get origami. Now he has his toys again. That's what infuriates me.
This is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Too many liberties are given to, of course, we have to put that disclaimer out there, innocent until proven guilty, right? But the overwhelming amount of evidence that we have here in the crime, the nature of this crime, he's facing the death penalty. They're going after him for the death penalty.
Hey, tell Deb to sue me for discovery. I'd love to see what she's got.
Yeah. Berlinda, thank you for being a member for 2 months, and thank you to.
See, Ron doesn't want to get into any of that, and OB can get into that because she deep dives into things, and like she deep dives. So all the things that OB's saying, it's from her literally digging through social media of all sorts for hours and hours and hours, and then consuming all the content that us content creators create or who we talk to. And then now she's a content creator, but she doesn't necessarily create the content we do. She just knows, not just, but she knows about it. And then when she does her show, she does a lot more. She does just anything she wants. So yeah, I love that she has that knowledge. I love it. And I think Stars D says, I think giving him that tablet is a strategic move to get him to slip up and implicate others. I think it's just a right that they have. I know it's a right that they have because I've had family members that were in jail and prison, and they all get those now. But of course, it's going to be strategic when you're watching somebody of that nature and the gravity of those crimes. You're going to pay attention to every single thing they say. So yeah, I don't even know why the parents, to be honest with you, why the parents, with what they said, and maybe why they haven't been called in yet, or if they have lawyers or why they haven't been called to talk about what they know. Because Chris Sterns, Stephan Sterns' dad, for the 100,000th time, was there. He drove down there so fast to get to his son when the condo was being, when the condo, which I believe is the crime scene, was being torn apart and taking everything out. He called his dad to come and help him. Help him with what? Help him with what?
For all the questions, Maggie put in a question. I think we answered it. I don't think he was using the toys to groom some of his young victims, but I certainly think he was giving parental advice online to try to groom some of his potential victims, because he was in these crazy, you had brought this up on one of our live streams, is that he was in these parental groups or parenting
substitute teaching groups, which worries me because I think he was applying to be a substitute teacher. He had made a statement on one of the forums about it.
Hold on.
And what school's going to admit to that? What school's going to be like, yeah,
no.
That's a
hell no.
It's a double, triple hell no.
Could you imagine him subbing for your kid's class?
Double, triple.
And what school's going to come out and go, yeah, he applied here? Hell no. The same way.
Thank you, Trish Myers, for the super sticker, the $19.99. I still wish it had a dancing avocado on it or something, but I appreciate that so very much. And remember, Jen Soto was also a substitute teacher at Maddie Soto's school, which means that when you do that, you have to take some kind of training to look out for children that are abused or SA or just signs of children and something, signs of them being harmed. Yes, Jennifer was a substitute teacher. We found that out by the roommate. And now I just heard Stephan Sterns was trying to apply to be one. Interesting.
Disney wouldn't even admit it when he did work there.
Yeah, that's
crazy to me.
Yeah. So he complained about his bloody fingerprints on his jail cell. The walls are dirty, and it's not the Ritz. He talks about his appearances and like how he appears now. Like, oh, I'm starting to get dark circles under my eyes. Worried about his commissary. Just a lot of crazy stuff. And talks about don't send the gift set, otherwise they'll take that, and I won't be able to get.
If Jen wasn't a substitute teacher, she applied to be a substitute teacher, but she was doing some substitute or some type of work with the students. So maybe we said that wrong, but I don't know. You can put in the comments what you know that's different from what I know. So I'd love to hear that, Honeydew. And thank you, Jojo, for the $3 super sticker. Thank you so much. Yeah, more like a substitute parent. Creepy, and could possibly have been a predator for him and with him. So maybe there wasn't paperwork behind it. I don't know where information you're getting. The information I'm getting is different, and the information OB just gave is much different because I didn't know that either. So tell me what you know. I want to know what you know now.
Get it. And we have the list of all the things that he has been sent by his parents. It's like, are you kidding me?
I can't get coffee on the road doing comedy. Like being paid to come make people to spread joy. They won't give me fucking coffee. And this guy's getting coffee in jail? I'm furious.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
I can't believe this shit.
Karen Solak says the nerve. all right, I want you to present because I
So you need to take classes, and I asked the roommate about that, and she didn't know. We don't know what you need at that particular school. I don't want to answer out of context, but you need to take classes to be able to even work at a school and know, even if you're volunteering. So Honey Duke Ponduces, I think the confusion came from testimony from the teacher at Maddie's school. The statement said she meaning the teacher being interviewed, but was wrongly interpreted to mean Jen. Interesting. Well, I'll have to look into that. Thank you for clarifying.
I got to get to bed. Believe it or not, I got to get.
Yeah, let me show you. Let's look at Debbie. Let's take a look at Debbie. Here, I'm going to pull up.
What happened? Went away.
No,
he says he has to get to bed, and we still have a lot more time. So we'll see how much more you guys want to be here.
Got to reshare my screen because for some reason.
I wanted to play Joseph Scott Morgan for a second because I want to.
Yeah, play him.
Yes.
Yeah, let's play him while you try to grab that. I got it in the hopper. Court TV. They have great guests and they have some good folks, but I really love Joseph Scott Morgan because he's like our Barbara Butcher equivalent, and he talks a little bit about the crime perpetrated.
Body daddy.
Yeah, he's the body daddy, big time. I'm gonna get him on the show. I know Melanie had him on. I'm gonna try to lasso him in. But again, I always like to yield to Barbara Butcher because she's our guru. I don't want to get her mad, but
I like her last name too. That's a crazy name for
Barbara Butcher.
Let's go a little bit further. Let's listen to him talk.
I love this guy. On her. And not just that, Julie, we have to look back over time. Remember this familial, if you want to call it that, relationship that was going on inside this domicile has been going on for a long, long time. And so I don't know that you could really have a lot of indications that there was ongoing physical abuse, like where we see things like broken bones many times with children, bruises, this sort of thing. It's hard to really know at this point. The histrionics in this case are going to be so muddled because the situation has gone on for so long. Did he fly into a rage at that moment in time and take her life? And I think that when all is said and done and it is revealed specifically what was done to this child, many things will come to light and we'll see how horrific this is.
And he brought up an excellent point. We do not have access to that autopsy report. We'll never get that access.
Yeah, we won't.
During the trial, it won't be shown on if it's televised, but it will be presented. And
now I want you all to know that, and thank you, Carrie Summers, for the super sticker, $4.99. All of you guys are helping a girl out, helping a sister out, helping whatever OB daddy likes to call me. She likes to call me Uncle Jay for some reason. So whatever it is you want to call me that's in the OB family, I love you. I appreciate your support. I need the support to keep the channel going. But interesting conversation that I had right before this is that Jennifer Soto and Tyler Wallace now know what the autopsy report says. They have access to that, especially Tyler Wallace as the dad. I don't know if Jennifer Soto, they've never named her as a suspect, but when your kid or your child gets their life taken or anything at all, they get in a car accident, whatever happens, they have access to that information. So it's not going to be publicized unless for some reason, which I wouldn't do. If it was my child, I would not say, yeah, release it to the public. Yeah, let's see that. Yeah, Uncle Chai, exactly. We'll call me Uncle Chai. She doesn't even call me Jai or Jay, it's Chai. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted Guilty of Crime memberships, Jojo. You're amazing. Thank you. I like it all lit up in green. Now, Tyler Wallace and Jennifer Soto have access to the autopsy, and they know what her manner of death is. So it's interesting because Tyler Wallace is supposed to come back out to Florida to visit what's left, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to really say exactly, but I know he's supposed to come back out. He's in Texas, back to Florida, and they know. So Jennifer Soto and Tyler Wallace know, but we're not probably ever going to know. Well, it's probably going to get leaked. No, I want to think of my one name for you. Jay. Yes, Jay. I prefer Jay.
By the district attorney. It's part of the case. They will present her autopsy and all of her injuries or none of her injuries or whatever she had on her body when the medical examiner and the legal medical death investigator came onto the scene will be revealed at the trial. And we'll know, the looming question of people asking, was she pregnant? Was she sexually assaulted prior? And I would guess
listen to this.
I would bet my bottom dollar that she definitely was one last time by this freak.
Assaulted. I wouldn't bet that she's pregnant though, because I think he would have got another charge for that by now.
And now listen to what Duty Ron says. It's interesting because I thought what he was going to say is different than what he says. And some people are asking me in chat, do they think the blood that was swabbed was menstrual blood? No, I don't. I actually think what OB just said is what happened. I think that he assaulted her one last time before taking her life, and it's disgusting and it's awful. And thank you, Carly, for Maddie's Memorial Cash App. MS, it's $ MS Forever 13. It's helping to preserve the items and get it to the next level of what it needs to become so that we don't lose those items. So it's not going to me. You can see who it's going to when you send it. Even if every single person puts in $1, it's helpful. It's going to help them. So thank you. And yes, Lady J, the boss is what I call it, by the way. Well, thank you. I am the boss most of the time, except to my family. All right. Unfortunately, she would probably still pass a background check. Yes, she would. Thank you, Sherry Roberts, for the five guilty of crime memberships. You guys are going to be, there's going to be a ton of people in the live stream on Wednesday, I hope. Tyler might release it if he thinks Jen is guilty and wants the public to push the prosecute, but he doesn't have to, and I don't think he will. I gotta say, knowing his personality, and I know his personality through the people that I talk to that talk to him, I don't see him doing that. I don't. Not even a little bit. So I could be right, but yeah, we should do that instead of Kamala. Kamala didn't do anything. I don't understand it. Let's go Jay for president, and whoever wants to be VP can be VP. I don't know what's going on here with this election.
In my opinion.
Not necessarily. Well, again, they wouldn't make that public at this time.
Oh, that's a good point.
So again, we got to wait. We have to wait. And there's
okay. So listen, Duty Ron, I know we got sidetracked. OB said she doesn't think Maddie would be pregnant because we would already know. And that's what I thought too. But Duty Ron is absolutely right. They need to save some things for the trial, folks. They can't just put everything out there. And I thought the same thing. I was like, no, there's no way they would up the charge. We would know. That's not true. I'm getting all caught up in the public eye of what a case is actually like. And it's not like what we see on TV. They have cards. It's like playing poker, and they're playing poker with Stephan Sterns. They're going to play when they're at trial. So we absolutely, what he said is correct. Thank you for the insight. You're welcome. So we might not know, and that could be a possibility.
It's going to be like when trials start and there's lots of oohs and ah moments, right? The district attorney looks at this. It's a death penalty case, and they're going to go at him and they're going to throw everything they can at him legally that's possible. But yeah, so again, a lot of people have these looming questions. Are you ready with your I can't wait to hear about this mom, because
yeah, and I have three
far from the tree as it pertains to father and son. And Stephan Sterns followed some of the father's business, something to try. Like, look, he wanted to try to be in real estate to make money because he saw his dad was successful. You getting a good crack out of that?
Yeah, it just made a loud noise, and I was like, "Oh, I thought I Lex Lugered for a second." I don't know if you know about that, but he had a neck ache, and he did this on a plane, and then his whole spine went numb, and he was paralyzed. And I'm terrified when I hear my neck pop. I'm like, oh Jesus!
I get cringed when I go to the chiropractor, which I don't do often, but they start cracking you up.
I would never.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. She says, Papa Ron has patience. We must have too.
Yes. Yeah. Jay's your biggest advocate for she's so excited that there's someone out there that is so pissed about Jen like she is, and constantly says, do something. And I agree. You guys are one and the same. Every time I look y'all up, y'all are like, why isn't Jen in jail?
I said on my members only live today, for those of members who are here in the chat, I said on the members only, Jen Soto needs to be hogtied and dragged in.
That happened in Texas.
Did he say that? She needs to be hogtied and dragged in. It happened?
Legit, in Texas, there was actually, this is really crazy. I'll make it quick. But when I worked at a certain,
if it's past this part, yeah, it is past, because I do remember them talk about you, Melly. We can't get to the part where Duty says you're the best, and I say you're the best. Melly is the best. She's everywhere at all times magically. I don't know how you do it, but Melly, you rock. And we'll hear it from Duty Ron as well, and everybody else that every other channel you're on.
Restaurant, our busboy had been out of nowhere. He was on the news because he had been a well-known rapist in the area who had gotten like 9 women, and then he was in the middle of an attack, and this hillbilly redneck couple, who I absolutely love more than anything, pulled over in their truck, said, hey, quit doing that, ran up on him. The female got him in a chokehold. The male hogtied him straight up, had a rope, like the rodeo, dragged his ass, threw him in the truck, took him to the police station. And then they had called the police and said, there's a woman in the road. You need to come get her. We're on the way to the police station.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I was like, isn't that Ricardo? And it was totally like our busboy under a fake name. And it was crazy. And that was many years ago, but I'll never forget seeing that couple on the news. Oh my God. They hogtied the guy. Like,
thank you for sharing that. I never even heard of it. I'll have to look up.
That's Oblivious Benson for you. That was a conversation we had last night too about something that we weren't talking about, but it's always helpful. And yeah, Melly is the best. I got a gifted membership last night from her as well. So thank you. I lit up green real quick. All right, let's keep going.
Up that case.
It's possible.
Miss Young says, at Duty Ron, it takes time to investigate. That's what taken them so long to arrest Jen, right? Yes, they're building a case, if in fact there is a case on her, and I would have to say that there is definitely a case on her, because what she did here and what we know publicly, and they, again, remember, they know a lot more than we know.
That too.
They're building a case, and they don't want to just charge her with some low misdemeanor or even a high misdemeanor.
Exactly.
They want to have her in, and they want to slam dunk. They want both of these guys, Jen and Stephan, to pay the price for what they did. To Madeline. So thank you for that. Hey, I want to give out some free memberships. I got 10 of them coming. Put a 1 in the chat if you want a free membership. Make sure you're subscribed. You have to hit the thumbs up and go over onto my social and follow me on all things social media. One word, Duty Ron. Me and Ed are on TikTok, believe it or not. We share our cases, short clips. We're not swinging from a pole there. But we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook. So we're on Facebook as well. I have a police and crime chat group.
Facebook. Everybody go follow Duty Ron after this. And yeah, I think Melly is everybody's girl crush for months, years, whatever. Peace, girl. 205. Love you, Jay. Yes, Duty Ron, full justice for Maddie. He says it absolutely. We don't want some low level charge that's going to be a misdemeanor or even a low felony. Right. We don't want her out like Kayla Montgomery in 18 months, folks. We do not. There's going to be problems then.
I'd love to get you in there if you're on it. I don't even know if you're on Facebook.
I love Facebook. You guys call it Facebook.
Police and crime chat group, for crying out loud.
I'm gonna have to join in there. I actually, as much as I love it, I haven't been using it as much recently since I got on YouTube, because I'm still trying to figure out the complexities of this system and this algorithm. Oh my God. Like, why do they do the things they do on here?
We'll get it going. Listen, for about a whole year, I used to go live and have 13, 12 people, 2 people watching the chat. So I went through the same thing in the beginning. And then once you get it, you get it. So look at all the ones in the chat. Thank you, everybody. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe. It's free. And I hope you have the membership gifting enabled on your YouTube, because if you don't, then you might not get it. So thank you for being here. Again, hashtag Duty.
He still keeps trying to end it, and we're not even done. By the way, Megan Boswell, that's a whole other issue. They were focused completely and solely on her. And you're absolutely right, Marsha, but they don't want to. There are at least 3 charges that they can arrest her on right now. And Duty Ron, I mean, I'm going to trust a NYPD detective that's retired and his whole crew when they say that they don't want to get her on a charge like that. They want to have a solid case. Again, I ask you, why have they not told us who the driver is? And I also wanted to thank Maggie earlier. I didn't get a chance. Torres. I'll just say Maggie Torres, 399, and then a crime remember Camel toe hangnail trim, right? Man, I can go all day with those. So that's the census, is that they're building a case and they don't want to lock her up. They know where she is, folks. She didn't run off. She's with her family, just like the emails say. She's with the Soto family, and she's not going anywhere.
You're on hashtag. What do you want them to put in for you, Dad?
Just put Dad or Oblivious Benson. And I know that there's some of you who are like, say your real name, talk about your comedy. You guys, I have 2 stalkers. I can't. There's a reason I don't do that. So be cool. Like, I have real stalkers, like, will come to my house.
Don't say your real name. Don't say your real name. I don't want to
do it on a big ass channel. Come on, kids.
I don't want to fuel the fire. Kirsten Miller says, me. 1, please. I have no control over who gets it, but let's do it. Hashtag Dad is in the chat. I see it. Thank you.
My children.
Right, here we go. 10 members. Do you think my credit card is going to go through?
Let's see if it works.
Here's the test of time. Boom. I think it went through. Let's see what the chat.
And yes, little Miss Madhead, I'm going to show Duty Ron Rhoda later. I think you would love Rhoda so much.
All right, 10 memberships. I want to see and hear about Rhoda, but we may have to do a second one.
Oh, that's later. Yeah, that's not for this live.
Let's go a little bit more. What is she? Okay,
make my face
talk a little bit about her.
I honestly don't know. But probably a face for radio. Let's just say that she owns a company called Callasterns Standard Poodles, which, if you remember in the emails, makes sense because they're breeders. And I'm not talking about they're having a bunch of babies that are doing wicked things in the world. I'm talking about they breed animals. I understand if you're a farmer, if you're someone who's an ethical breeder, that's chill. But typically I'm under just my personal opinion, don't breed dogs if you're going to chop their tails off and rip their dew claws out, which we saw in that email. That is especially cruel. And I don't like that they do this. And when you find out what kind of poodles, let me pull this up because it makes me stop sharing the screen. And now I'm going to present the new one.
And this is why I'm sharing this portion, because I don't have this particular website, nor did I have the time to look it up. So I figured, hey, let's just let OB present this. She has that Poodle page, and I didn't look it up. So now we're talking back again about Stephan Sterns, and I pose the question to you about Stephan Sterns' parents. Do they know? What do they know? And are they deflecting? I mean, it's going to come out, everybody. It's all going to come out. So we can all either say to each other, I was right, or you were wrong, or we can all just say, man, and hope for complete and utter justice for Maddie. We don't want to be right or wrong. We want Maddie to have justice because she deserves it. She was tortured for so many years, and then her life was taken unfairly. It's never fair, but it was in one of the most unjust ways possible that I could think of.
So this is where it gets interesting. So it's Callasterns Poodles. Is it showing? Yeah, there it is. I think you have to put it up for me though.
Hold on a second. I'll put it. There you go.
And let me scroll up so we're not looking at phone numbers, but this is it. Poodlebreeders.com. Can't be more specific than that. They've got miniature and toy poodles, as you can see. This is the dogs that they're talking about, or these are the dogs they are talking about in the emails. The Callasterns Dazzling Vegas Showgirl is this one. I feel terrible for this dog that she is choking with a leash. That is terrible. They are using a slip. No, I don't like any of this. I'm sorry. I used to work with dogs, and this is all just so fucking unethical. And it doesn't surprise me that they had a kid like Sterns. So if we go down, I got to ask you first, Ron. The phone number is in here. Should I scroll down or no? Let's wait.
Is it publicly available?
It is.
Yeah, then go ahead.
I mean, she might get some business from it. I don't know.
Yeah, just don't call the number and harass.
Yeah, just don't call the number. But basically,
and we do ask that, just don't call the number, don't harass. But now I do want to say, Casey Anthony is free. But is she really free, folks? Is Casey Anthony really free? Have you seen just think about that. We're on a different case. This is the biggest thing that's happened since. I don't even want people to do that, but don't harass. Don't do any of that, please. Is Casey Anthony really free? Have you seen that last documentary she did? Do you see what, like, the conditions that she lives under? She never had children again. She can't go out. People want to literally take her life. I don't know how free that is, but no, she's not in prison.
This is on the LinkedIn, right?
Yes. And you can see, or this is her website that is public on the LinkedIn. She goes on to explain all of the different dogs in the background and how they test the dogs, how they declaw them by their dew claw. They dock their tails. Ugh. this is just kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe they still do this. They do keep up with the website. They are active breeding. The dad, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pull up all their personal stuff, but I'll tell you this much. The dad, according to the roommates, which lines up with what we can see publicly online, tends to not be home a lot. He travels throughout Florida and the US for real estate ventures. He's not home a lot. Deb's home a lot. Deb has a history of anytime Stephan gets into trouble, allegedly showing up with a folder like she's fucking Vince McMahon, giving someone money, and then the problem goes away. Fair enough. How dare you, Deb? But if you're interested, we have a podcast with Deb on it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I've never heard her talk or anything.
You shared it with me in the private chat. Let's save that for another live stream. Maybe we'll just do a dedicated live stream. Hey, I also wanted to make mention that
and now you know. So Duty Ron's going to use that. They're going to do that together. I'd always love to be invited on a show. If you see this, Papa Ron or OB. But I'm going to save that for them because she was so kind to share with all the information with me. And I don't ever want to step on anybody's toes in the community of anything, true crime or any of that. I want to collaborate with these people and I want to fill in the blanks and I want them to fill in the blanks for me, but I never want to step on anyone's toes. So, all right, let's go.
You know, Stephan Sterns in the beginning of this, when he was talking to investigators, he talked about how annoying those dogs were and how they were enough to, I think he said, it's enough to drive anybody crazy, the barking, and my parents are really annoying. And now we see in his jailhouse, and all the channels have showed this and played the email. So I'm going to spare you guys all of that because we all know about it. But now he's sucking up to them and talking about how he misses the dogs. Did anybody catch on to that?
Gaining interest.
Right.
And it's very interesting that, I mean, I'm sure you've hit on this immediately. Chris is like, by the way, this is public, right? And then right after that, it's like, hey, by the way, this is all Jen's fault. Let's blame her from the mom. Like, you know what pisses me off too? The fact that they can do one email from Chris's account and then he can say, here's your mom to come in and speak. Tell me how that is legal in a jail.
Now, that's where a lot of people didn't catch on. And before the emails, a lot of people in chat, I noticed, were confused about that. They did know that and they did say that. And the mom is very intelligent on and wanting to get her son out. So deflecting. Yeah, I'm sure she is deflecting, and I'm sure she does want her son off of death row. But did Jen Soto do more? And does the dad know more? Does the mom know more? So anyway, that they're doing that on purpose, and they want those emails to get to the people that can pull Jen Soto in and interrogate her, arrest her. But she has a lawyer, so they got to build a case. Thank you, Lindsay Roberts, for the $10 Cash App. I appreciate you. All right. I don't know who Rhoda is. Did I miss something? I know Zanny the nanny took Kaylee. Yeah, we know that. And still, all these years later, Casey Anthony still says that that lady existed.
Jail, because I feel like it should be wrong. Imagine that, let's say you assaulted your wife and you're in jail or prison because, God forbid, you committed attempted murder on her and she survived. And let's say your wife is stuck at home and your mom lives with you and you're in jail. So it's your mom and the wife that you assaulted. What's to stop at any moment any of these victims who want to go back or change the story or even don't want to talk about it and are being forced to join in on emails? Why is there no check and balance? Why are they not stopping and going, no, you each have to make your own email? Because it makes me nervous for witness intimidation reasons.
She's not that smart, but what I'm saying is she's making a lot of noise. And even with the death penalty advocates, she's telling on her son. I mean, she confessed to whoever she accuses Jen of, correct. And she's also saying, my son did it, but he didn't do it by himself, is what she's saying. So I don't even know why this guy is going to trial. I wish they would. I mean, it's just so vile, the things that we're going to have to hear. But also, we don't want plea deals at the same time. So I'm talking myself in and out of it. They know he did it. They know what their son did. They know their son's been a chomo. But yes, they're absolutely implicating their son. All right. They're implicating their son and also trying to throw Jen under the bus.
Or for people who are in gangs who can send messages.
Yeah.
What's to stop Deb from hopping in and sending him a message that maybe dad wouldn't have done. It stresses me out that they're letting multiple people email from the same account. I don't like that.
So it's twofold of why they let this go is because they want to obviously see maybe a slip up or maybe something that they could use against them.
That's a good
Because
point.
again, it's they know when they sign on to send the email, there's a disclaimer on there. There's a legal disclaimer that
They
comes
read
up,
it.
and that's why when she said, "Oh, this is public, people can read it." Maybe she didn't see it. Maybe when the dad signed in, she didn't see it. So I'm trying to like justify it.
Oh, that's a good point.
But these people,
No, they in the emails that I read to you, they said it at the very beginning. Well, we're going to keep it basic, essentially what they said. So because they're monitoring our, so then the mom gets on there and has this idea to just say it, go talk to your attorneys, talk about Jen, always the loudmouth ones, right? But I feel like there's a fraction of the truth that's in there. If she's going to I don't want to plead deal either, but I feel like there's a fraction if she's going to the advocacy for death penalty and she's making waves and going to the police department and telling them all of these things. They've got to have some of that information. They've got to have her phone. They've got to have Stephan Sterns texting her saying, hey, this or that, or I just dropped her off, or we're going. They've got to have the two phones in the car going. The police have to have some of that information if it's true.
Potentially, a little bit older. I know that I was just at my stepmom's today. She's 80 years old. She has a smartphone, and I have to always, every time that I see her, I always have to like fix it up and delete things. And she's got double screenshots, and she's like, "How do I take a picture again?" And I'm like, "Oh, I want to send a selfie to my daughter." And how do I so? Technology is probably not their best friend, but they're not.
Oh, she knows what
so
she's
they know
doing.
that anything that they send is going to be looked at. But
she knew
the investigators want that. I mean, I know they're not allowing him to just communicate with anybody.
Yeah,
these are all approved people that he could communicate with. Look, Rex Heuermann, people want to interview him. Brian Kohlberger, look, you got Ashley Banfield saying, "Oh, I stalk him. I'm trying to call him and send him emails," and so. Like news people and reporters all do that continuously, but
they use JPay so that they can contact. I mean, even Keegan Klein in the Delphi case was texting with Murder Sheet. Like, it's crazy that that's allowed, in my opinion. But I do think it's very, very odd, though, in Florida. The second they get out on bail, if you're still on the sex offender registry, the checks and balances from a perspective of law enforcement of keeping them from actually being in contact with kids is honestly shit. Like, sure, they did a great job rounding them all up. But if you look up a guy named Chazen Rance right now, he is on the sex offender list training children every day at his wrestling academy. And there are a ton of others that are teachers in Florida. And you're like, how did this happen? I think that there needs to be way more regulation among them using their laptops, their iPads. I don't care if it's jail. Don't let them on the internet. And don't let them around kids. It really stresses me out.
And I'm not really certain how much ability he has to do just random searches on the internet. It's all of it is regulated and it's all looked at.
True.
He can't just take that iPad and start going and searching whatever the hell he wants. It's
true. And a lot of people ask on that they're not in chat, but we've got the rewatch crew saying, "Hey, has Jen reached out to Stephan, or is Jen sending him money?" Jen's not going to implicate herself in any way. Once they told her and they showed her the pictures of Stephan Sterns' member and his pink spot and the pictures, she had nothing to do with him. She was done. We didn't hear what her reaction was. We didn't hear her say, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that I went on the news with this guy and he told me he dropped her off. I can't believe that I trusted him. I don't know why I did." We don't see anything in the statements or hear anything from the police about Jen Soto saying that. Like, "Oh man, I can't believe that I bought that story and I was on the news station saying we dropped her off and it was at the school. Man, was I fooled." Nothing. We don't hear. Sometimes what you don't hear is definitely more important than what you do hear. And what I gathered from what Jen did when she saw those pictures was she tried to be like, "Oh, I don't recognize that," and then acting surprised. That was it. But no other reaction. No, she didn't try to correct herself at all and say, "Man, I didn't know that anything. Think about it. Think about all the time she lied to us publicly, to the public, in all the interviews, every time, body cam, and 2 other interviews, lie, and lie of we and comforting Stephan Sterns.
It's not
But
going to.
is that true though? Because there have been situations that I've been reading about lately, as far as in our hacking circles, about how these prisoners are figuring it out, and it's
Right.
stressing me out.
I'm gonna have Anthony from Tier Talk come on.
Mhm.
Anthony Andrew, he's a prison executive.
Yes.
He still is an active executive, like, so he's like an upper boss in the.
Ooh, I'd love that.
So I'm gonna have Anthony Ganji. He's got 20 some odd years in the prison business. We'll ask him the questions. I don't like to answer questions that I don't exactly 100%
Right.
know, because I'm not a corrections professional.
Oh, and you could have those guys back on that you had, the one from Texas and the one from New York. I loved them.
Yes, Keith.
They were
and-
awesome on your
yeah,
show.
Those are badasses. And the other guy from California too, Russ Hamilton.
Yes.
California.
And he worked in female prisons just with females in it, and also he worked with juveniles too.
Was
So
he the guy who said it ain't like the orange is the new black anymore? I remember you
was
had
a-
someone on here who said that, and I spit
was a-
coffee.
So
It's so funny.
Anthony and Russ and also Keith Helwick, unbelievable resources as it pertains to corrections. And we'll do that, because I don't like to just randomly talk about things that I don't really 100% know.
Yeah,
And Ron's trying to, he does run a tight ship. Adam, if you're on here, he's trying to stay on topic, and he says that multiple times. So we want to stay on topic too. I want people that don't know this case or don't understand. I mean, they really need to probably watch other videos when it comes to this, because right now we're talking about Stephan Sterns' parents. We talked about their background, but now we're talking about who they are now, like right now at this very moment, who they are and what they're doing and what his mom is doing, particularly advocating for him. Dad is sending money and talking to him most of the time on that damn the pad thing. But I wanted to bring you up to date. They're not divorced. I don't think it went through, but if it did, they live together and they still work together. So that's where Stephan Sterns' parents are, and they're really highly supporting him, just like in the Chris Watts case. Unbelievable.
so many questions about that.
All right, an hour and 38 minutes. I'm going
We
to
did
wrap it up. I know that you could go on for 4 or 5 hours, 3 or 4 hours.
I'm not gonna do that to you today, Ron.
A long clock. I've had a long day, and I got to get up at like 5:50 in the morning. So we're going to continue to monitor Stephan Sterns' family's activities.
Yes.
We only touched the tip of the iceberg here. So maybe we'll come back and we'll do a part 2 to the show, if you don't mind.
It would technically be our part 3, and I don't mind. I would love to do that, because when I come back, we can listen
I
to
agree.
Poodle People with Debbie.
Oof. Yeah.
Get
And
ready for that one.
you shared in the private chat the
I sent you a link.
yeah, I almost want to click on it, but I'm in fear that I'll be on.
I've never heard her.
I'm in fear that we'll be on in another hour or two. So
It's
maybe
all
let's do
good.
this as like
Yeah.
on a short thing.
Because what if Poodle People is amazing and we get addicted to a Poodle podcast? I would hate that for myself. Yeah.
Hold on, let me get this.
It's no bird chat, but
So tomorrow's Karen Reed. There's like that big hearing that's going to be the whole hoopla. Melanie's going to be covering it.
All
Let's,
right.
All
right, we're going to talk about Karen Reed.
Didn't work
Let's
out
just
well.
wrap
the
this
people
up.
who stabbed and beat me to near death had ankle.
All right, let's see.
The amount of info we
Okay.
now have, it looks like she's in a bit of a denial, or she's willfully ignorant.
All right, so I put up Molly Tibbetts on there. They started talking about all of the Lake and Riley. Let's not forget Lake and Riley and Molly Tibbetts and Jocelyn Nungrai. All right, that's what we start talking about at the end, and that is not what topic we're going to get on today. But today, I came in hot, and I'm gonna leave a lot more cooled down. I got out whatever I needed to get. So thank you to the people that supported me today, every day, and my sources that come to me and sometimes tell me more than I even want to know. I also want you all to please, if you can, go to my community page and also donate. If you could donate $1 to the Cash App, Maddie Cash App, $, MS Forever Cash App that I have up there. That will help to get her all of the items that they pulled down and store them and then put them up again. There it is. Maddie's Memorial Cash App. Just trust in the universe, trust in God, trust that this money, even if you put $1. I gave them 20 the other day, and every chance that I can get, I'll throw more money to them. I trust that this money is being used correctly, unlike the money that was sent to Jennifer Soto for the GoFundMe, the $16,000 that was never accounted for. So that's all I really can say about that, is just trust that that's going to be used correctly. And I'm not running that, but I trust the people that I work with. And at Melly, thank you. Absolutely. I absolutely trust in the universe. It never leads me astray. The higher power never leads me astray. And that's what guides me to my cases. I only do cases if I feel compelled to them. If I feel compelled, or if we're having a members only and I want it to be more lighthearted or funny, but it's something that I already followed. But otherwise, the cases that I follow, and I'm glad you are here to hear this, because my mods all know I only do cases. I only cover cases that compel me and draw me to them, and that I have a passion, and I have passions for all of them, but I'm only one person. So give me a guilty of crime crew, and guess what? I'll be like, you do this, you do this, you do this. Let's cover this. If I get more people on camera, we'll cover people all day. But I want to thank my mods, because my mods help me out with the research. Jess is not a mod. She helps me out with the research, and everybody that help, all of the mods that help, Gothic Bree, Carly. I can't, it's escaping me right now, because everybody, I'm like, where are all the mods? Petty Mason, Deb, absolutely. You do the most research. Oh my goodness. Deb does amazing work. So all the mods, at the tip of my tongue came in hot, and now it's like, thank you, everybody. Jojo for show. How could I even forget that? And then I have the last mod that is escaping my mind. Who is it, Melly? Who is it? Oh yeah, it's pretty. And Wolfpack. How could I forget Wolfpack? I chased Wolfpack down to get her in here. Thank you all. All right. Yeah, don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. I came in hot, and I'm leaving. It took all my energy. On that note, it's the moon. We'll say that. I have the best mods. Melly is the best non-mod that is like a mod. I love you all. Don't do crime, or you're going to end up here. Because I always say, did you get caught? Or are you guilty of crime? Because you didn't get caught. And my dog is getting pissed. So I love you all. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?